For just simplicity, okay, there are other factors as well, right? But we just for simplicity, we just assume that there are only one factor which she can increase the production if she has more workers. Here we go. So did you notice something strange here in this table? When there was no worker, there was no production. When she employed one worker, and one worker was producing 50 cookies per hour. And when she employed another worker, so total two workers combined, they were producing 90. So did you notice something? Total three workers, total 150.
Yeah, when the
Right? So there is something.
the out
Yes, well done. So there is something strange here, right? Mathematically, if one worker is producing 50, the next two workers going to be producing 100, and then 150, and then 200, and then 250, and then 300. Did you notice something? Although in total, when you see the totality, 50 and 90 is greater than 50, 120 is greater than 90, 140 is greater than 120, 150 is greater than 155, greater than 150. So total production is increasing by increasing number of units, number of inputs. It means by employing more workers, your total production increases, but at decreasing rate, which means when you employ one worker, he added 50 units to the production. When you employ the two workers, the second worker added 40. When you employ the third worker is adding only 30, and then 20, and then 10, and then only 5. So it means total output is increasing but at decreasing rate. We call this property diminishing marginal product. So what is marginal product? Marginal product means if you hire a new worker, what extra he is producing? He is producing 40 units. When you, if you hire one more, he is producing 40. When you hire third one, he is producing 30. So this is called marginal product. And how we calculate that? Change in output divided by change in input. Marginal product. Number of change in output. So change in output, for example, from here. So when you hire two people, change in output 90 minus 50 divided by change in labor 2 minus 1. Answer is 40. This 40 is coming from here. All right. So what does it mean? The marginal product of any input in the production process is the increase in the output that arises from an additional unit of input. Input is labor here. In simple sense, if you are confused, in simple sense, by increasing one additional worker, what is the increase in quantity of cookies? Simple. What additional labor is going to increase in my total production? That's it. We call this marginal product. Marginal means additional or incremental, right? So marginal product means what incremental or additional product or production is going to be increased by increasing one or by employing one worker, one additional worker. Simple. All right. And this is the marginal product, right? So diminishing marginal product is a property by which marginal product of an input declines as the quantity of input increases. Here we go. You notice something which I just mentioned over there. When you employ more workers, which means input increasing, causing marginal product to decrease. This property is called diminishing marginal product. All right. Diminishing marginal product means if you employ more worker, the total production will increase, but at decreasing rate or but at decreasing marginal product. We call this diminishing marginal product. All right. So what is the reason? Reason is as more and more workers are employed, and we assume that you cannot increase the size of the factory. You only one thing increases the production by employing more workers, which means everything is fixed. When everything is fixed, as more and more workers are employed, each additional worker contributes less and less to the production because the firm has a limited amount of equipment. So equipment is shared between the employees and production. No doubt the total production rises, but at decreasing rate. Guys, you clear? Venetia, Oliver, Om, Marco, Sufyan, Nicholas, Havarun, understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Let's move forward here. So we are skipping the class activity here because we have just breakout room activity, which is more important here. So graph, you already know that. So I'm not, giving you more time to draw the graph. I assume that at this time you already know the graph. So if you draw this graph here, number of workers and total production, the graph will look like this. So it means if you hire more workers, production will increase straight? No, with the bend here. And this bend is because of diminishing marginal product. So now you tell me. So go back to our, the first slide in which I talk about that why this chapter is important for you. Those who are planning to open their own business and how many workers they need to employ. So here, if you add one more worker from here 5 to 6, your production from 142 only 155, or you can see here 150 to 155. All right, and if you employ 7th worker, he will only produce, for example here, only 2 units. So this marginal product of labor tells you if you are paying him $10 a day, right? $10 a day, and he's only producing 2 units, and the cost of these 2 units are only $3. So the product he added to the total production only $6, and you are paying him $10. It means his contribution is less than what he is getting. So you stop hiring. All right, guys. So the relationship between production and the output is called production function. It tells you that how many workers you need to hire. So if you hire 7th worker, he will produce almost the same. because at this point it will be like this and it will stay like this. So same units, 155, you can also produce with the 6 people. Why to hire 7, 8, 9, 10? All right. So this production function will tell you how many people you need to hire for the work. So diminishing marginal product. So why it is bending? If you know some basic mathematics. So this is because of the slope. The slope of this curve is called marginal product of labor. All right. So when the marginal product declines, the production function becomes flatter here. So this, from here, the marginal product declines. And that means the diminishing marginal product going to be 0, 0 from here. Because additional worker not producing anything and total production will be the same at 155. That's it. All right. So if you understand this, please answer this in 2 seconds because we just discussed that. When adding another labor leads to an increase in product, and that is smaller than the increasing in output that resulted from adding previous unit of labor, we have the property we call what is the answer here? Venetia, Haroon, Sufyan, Oliver, Priscilla.
C.
We just discussed that. Answer is C. Well done. Now this one is quite tricky. So those who are watching online, please pause the video and read the whole example and then try to guess the answer. And then we discuss what is the solution here. So on 100-acre farm, a farmer is able to produce 3,000 bushel of wheat when he hired 2 workers. So 2 workers, 3,000 bushel, and 3 workers, 44,000 bushel. So which one is the possibility of diminishing marginal product? So what is the answer here? This one is quite tricky. A. Why not B? And why not C?
A.
Well done, guys. Why? Those who still are figuring out, here we go. So just write it down here. 2 workers, 3,000 bushels. 3 workers, 44,000. What is the diminishing? What is the marginal product? 1,400. It means if you hire the 4th one, it must go down from 1,400 down. So if you produce 58, still 1,400. If you produce 6,000, it is 1,600. The only consistent is 56, which is 1,200. So A is the right answer. Well done, guys. Well done. So the total cost curve shows graphical representation of output and its cost. Here we go. So simple, the production function, it shows the relationship between total cost and the